Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and a lot of people requested that I show the pricing on vehicles with other manufacturers. I just did Ram the other day, so we're over here at Toyota, and we're going to look at the pricing of vehicles that are on dealer lots. So what you'd actually see basically if you go to a Toyota dealership. So with that being said, just get right into it. So let's start things off by looking at the Tundras because we've got a decent chunk of them. Now the first two trucks that I want to show that I think is pretty interesting is this Tundra and this one right here. So that one is a limited and that one is an SR5. Now the SR5 is kind of like the entry-level package, but you can see this SR5 has a ton of stuff added to it. So you've got the advanced off-road package, you've got Tier D off-road premium, and you've got a bunch of stuff added to it. Total MSRP on this one is $65,000. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show through the window very well here. You can see it's got like upgraded seats and all of that. And this is also part of pricing. They have this on the truck, so I'll show this. Again, normally it's just about MSRP pricing, but you can see that there's some discounts on Tundras that they're detailing. But anyways, SR5, so $65,000. And then this limited right here doesn't really have anything added to it, and so it's $60,000. So depending on how you kit out these trucks, you could make a base model more expensive than a mid-trim. I'd consider the limited mid-trim because then you've got 1794 Platinum, Tier D Pro, and that above the limited. So limited's kind of like middle, whereas SR5 is kind of like entry level package. But yeah, I found that very interesting. And for those of you looking for something more bougie, this Platinum's $70,000, and it's right next to the most affordable truck I've seen so far. It's another SR5, and this one, as you can see, $56,000. Doesn't really have a whole lot added to it. Basically, just bedliner and a few other things. And so that's kind of where it looks like the Tundra's starting, right mid-50s, and so far we've found something that goes up to 70. And something else to note, you notice that none of these trucks have badges on the hoods until we get to this guy right here, and that badge represents the hybrid. So most of these trucks that are here are non-hybrids, and then there's this hybrid, and then there is, actually, yeah, that's the only hybrid here that I see. And I think this hybrid's the most expensive one out of the bunch. Yes, $77,000, and this one's a 1794 with the Tier D off-road, so it's got quite a few options on it. But I've noticed that kind of trend with Toyotas where the hybrids sell a lot quicker than the non-hybrids, at least with the, well, pretty much all the product. The hybrids are sold out for the most part. And speaking of sold out, all of these vehicles right here are already pre-sold. That whole group of vehicles is also pre-sold. They're fleet vehicles, but still pre-sold. And then these ones are not fleet, and they are also all sold already. And you can see there is some Tundras in there. So anyone that says Tundras aren't selling, that's not reality. Same thing with Tacomas. People will say that Tacomas aren't selling. They are in fact selling. All of these vehicles in this line are all already sold. And I guess since this is our only minivan to look at, you can see $56,000. This is a limited all-wheel drive. These Siennas, I think you have to wait most places a year to get them. Depends on the package. Obviously some packages are a little bit more available, but the popular packages, you gotta wait. Now I'll pop over into Tacoma land and notice that we've got that one hybrid right there. Again, you can see the iForce Max badge in the back, but notice all the rest of the Tacomas here are not hybrids. Now this Tacoma that is a hybrid is a Tier D off-road with a premium, and you can see $57,000 is the MSRP. Which something that I find interesting is if you just get a limited non-hybrid like this one, $55,000, and if you actually look at the interior on the, well, it's not going to show very well. The limited basically has the same interior as in Tier D off-road premium, but yeah, you get the better powertrain with the off-road premium, and you get the same interior as you get with that limited. I'm sure I can find a less expensive one, but so far this is the least expensive, $47,000, and this one is, as you can see, SR5 there. It's got bedliner and everything. Aha, we slightly beat it, $46,000 for an SR5. So I think this is probably as inexpensive as we're going to see with the Tacoma here. This one's an SR5, and you can see that it basically just has a few options added to it, connected services and everything. $42,954. So yeah, we found our deal of the day. So the trend that I've noticed with these Tacomas is most of them are between $47,000 and $52,000 for the MSRP pricing, with a few outliers like the SR5 over there at $42,000. There's another SR5, I think it was that one that was like $43,000. But yeah, most of them are that $47,000 to $52,000, and then obviously on the high end there was that Tier D off-road all the way down there, the white one. It was $57,000. Then the limiteds are like all $55,000 without the hybrid powertrain. But you notice with the Tacomas and then with the Tundras that we just looked at, not a single TRD Pro, because those are completely sold out. Now this is pretty crazy. This is the only Corolla that I see that's not a GR. We'll see what package this is. It has a pretty cool spoiler on it. I think I reviewed this one the other day. So 2025 FX, yeah, 29,000. But yeah, these Corollas are selling like hotcakes because it's a sub $30,000 car, but that's the only one on the lot that I see. Now there are a few Priuses, and something interesting to know about all these Priuses is they're actually all front-wheel drive. They're 24s, these particular ones, but yeah, they're all front-wheel drive. The all-wheel drive Priuses, similar to the Corollas, just sell out here in Utah. Utah's a interesting state. People always want all-wheel drive, but yeah, there's not that many of them. That one's loaded up. If we do, this one's a XLE. This one's a little bit, yeah, it's quite a bit less, 33,000 for it versus almost 40,000 for the limited Prius. And I guess we'll call this next section Crown Avenue. So this one is the Crown car, I guess is what we'll call it. You can see the MSRP there, 43,000. And this is the regular hybrid, not the crazy turbocharged hybrid. But yeah, that's the only one of that version of the Crown, whereas the other two are the SUV version. It's the new Crown Signia. These ones are a little bit more money. So you can see 50,000, but that one's a limited, so understand that makes sense why it's gonna be more. And the other one's also limited, 52,000. Well, this is kind of funny. We have more Corolla Crosses than we have Corollas. Well, since there's so few of them, I can pretty much go over all of them. So that black one's the least expensive at like 30,000, and then that red one's like 36,000, and then this other red one is 34, and I think this one was also 34,000. So they're all sub 40,000, very affordable. And right here is the only RAV4. You can see LE front-wheel drive. Again, you'll notice that is a theme here, front-wheel drive. But anyways, 31,000. And so I bet if this had all-wheel drive, it would not exist here because, yeah, RAV4s are super hot. And I kind of lied to you guys. There is actually a Sienna. This one's an XLE, but you notice a theme, not all-wheel drive. So if cars are not all-wheel drive in Toyota in Utah, it's not like they're not going to sell. It's just they're going to be a little bit slower. My point no longer stands. That's an all-wheel drive RAV4. And if you like off-roading, we have a total of one 4Runner. There's actually another one up front, but yeah, two 4Runners here. I thought that this other Corolla was a GR from a distance because it had the little roof rails up top, but it's just a regular Corolla. But there is one GR, and there's one Toyota 86. There's that other Toyota 86, but it is already sold. 86 on the 86. You can see it over there in green. And then we have three Camrys, and, well, I'll go to check, but I'm pretty sure none of these are the all-wheel drive version. Yeah, would you look at that? 3 Camrys, and not a single one of them are all-wheel drive. And then a car that we didn't even get a look at, Grand Highlander. Again, this one's in the sold line. And this one is the iForce, the Hybrid Max, which is a pretty cool powertrain. It's a turbo 2.4 liter 4-cylinder here. Let me go to the window sticker here. You can see it's not at, well, it's 26-27, so it's not as good of the fuel economy as the 2.5 NA hybrid, but it's all about power. I think it's the first time I've seen one of those in person, but yeah, those Grand Highlanders, they're also sold out, and regular Highlanders too. This Camry's front-wheel drive and is already pre-sold, but this just shows you that it doesn't have to be all-wheel drive to sell in Utah. Like I said, just is a little bit slower if it's not all-wheel drive. And that is it for the new cars. I mean, they do have a couple in front of the dealership, but that is pretty much the entire new car inventory, and this is what you'll see with most Toyota dealers, is basically a bunch of sold cars and then a few cars on a front line that are available, mostly trucks actually. Now it's pretty windy, so I'm gonna just pop into this truck that I was using for a comparison to sum things up here with this. So we'll notice with Toyota, I guess we can make a little bit of a comparison because we were just at RAM yesterday. Toyota has significantly less inventory, and when you read Toyota's latest stuff in the news and everything, they're doing that purposefully. It's not that they're trying to like not have any cars for people to buy, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to make it so the supply matches the actual demand rather than overbuilding, which some manufacturers do. It's kind of like the normal thing. Prior to COVID, most manufacturers would build way more cars than what people were actually buying, and Toyota's trying to stay away from that now, right? They're trying to just build as many cars as what people are purchasing for the most part, but they do have extra cars that they obviously, and I'll put extra in quotation, it's more so of they probably just did a production of those particular cars, and it would be more cost effective to just produce all of them rather than to cut production because they've met some sort of demand figure at that time, because eventually those trucks will sell. There's not, I mean, really, like, people are gonna say that this is not a lot of trucks. Like, I mean, let's literally, I'll just quickly count them. We're counting the Tundra that's on the pad there next to the Tacoma. That's 11 trucks total in inventory, and this is in the middle of Salt Lake, and so this is like a high volume area. So having 11 trucks total in your inventory is next to nothing. So it might look like a lot because the rest of the Toyota lot is relatively empty, but I mean, when you compare, like, go to a Chevy dealership, go to a Ram dealership, go to a Ford dealership, and you'll find like 100+ trucks on the front line, not 11. So Toyota still has, even though people will give crap with the new Tundra saying it's not selling, Toyota still has significantly less Tundra inventory than their competitors have with their half tons. So there's a few things that we can conclude from this little lot walk that we did in today's video. First off, hybrids with Toyota are extremely hot, and it's just a hot thing in the market in general. But if we look at the Tundras, again, 11 Tundras, one of them is a hybrid. And then we look at the Tacomas, about 20 Tacomas roughly is what it looks like, just eyeballing it. One of them is a hybrid. And it's not to say that Toyota's not delivering hybrids, it's just all the hybrids that Toyota's delivering with the trucks are selling, and the trucks, what they're doing shows what's happening with the rest of the Toyota lineup. Anything that has a hybrid powertrain for the most part is selling. The only time they're not selling, or I shouldn't say not selling, but selling at a slightly slower pace, is if it doesn't have all-wheel drive. And so, and again, this is probably just a thing for the Utah market. I bet it's a little bit different in somewhere like California or Texas where you don't have inclement weather or snow that's as big of an issue as it is here in Utah. But either way, I think this was pretty interesting to see with Toyota. And so lower inventory levels, especially when you compare them to, you know, like brands that Toyota is competing against, and they're still selling cars really well, and they're mostly selling the hybrids. And Toyota really does have a monopoly on the hybrids right now. We'll see how long that lasts for. I think it will last for quite some time because hybrid technology takes a while to integrate into cars, and then building trust with people, because it's a technology that if you don't get it right, it's an absolute crap show. Like, you have to get it right, and Toyota has obviously, I mean, they've been doing hybrids for over 20 years, so they've been able to get that right, and so that's why they've got that. So I'll be interested to see if Toyota continues this theme of very low inventory. They're doing it with Lexus as well, their luxury brand, and they're still selling a lot of cars, but I wonder if they'll beef up the inventory slightly just so they have a little bit more available for people to buy same day versus, I mean, like, for example, if I wanted I don't know, like a TRD Pro, right? Because we didn't see a single TRD Pro today because they're completely sold out here in Utah. If I wanted a TRD Pro Tundra, I don't know, probably have to wait like 6 months, maybe get on the list, wait 6, maybe even more. Sequoia TRD Pro, I mean, we didn't see a single Sequoia for a reason. Sequoia's hybrid only, kind of goes with that theme I was telling you. And if you wanted like a Sequoia TRD Pro, I mean, yeah, I bet that's like a year, maybe even more than a year at this point, because everyone loves those Sequoia TRD Pros. And so it's kind of like a different way of buying where you get on a list to then buy a car 6 months from now versus going into a dealership and buying it same day. So let me know if do you guys like that more? I think it's smarter, like in terms of buying, because then you plan things out versus just doing it the same day, but I don't know. Anyways, let me know you guys' thoughts on Toyota's pricing and then inventory and all of that. And if you guys want me to do more brands, let me know. Let me know what brands you want me to do in the future. I think it'd be cool to do Ford and Chevy after this, since we just did Ram the other day, just so I can show you guys the difference with the truck inventories between all of them, because that might, some of you might think that's a lot of trucks, but like that is nothing compared to Ford or Chevy when it comes to truck inventory, especially Ford. They've got so many.